All right, welcome back to Beyond Red and Blues Crucial Case Law Series. Last week we talked about Illinois Wardlow, and I left you with a challenge question. I'll just repeat it quickly here. So it's late at night. You see a man walking through a high crime area known for recent car break-ins. When he sees your police car approaching, he looks nervous, quickly changes direction to run down a side street. Officer follows and decides to stop to ask for questions. Is this detention lawful under Illinois Wardlow? Answer is yes. Given his flight and the recent car break-ins at night, that's your +1. A Terry stop is justified under these circumstances. So for this week, Zach, what do we got?
Tennessee versus Garner case that was cited from 1984 but decided in 1985. And the facts of Tennessee versus Garner: police officer encounters 15-year-old Edward Garner, and he is suspected of burglarizing a nearby house. He attempts to flee from the police by jumping over a fence, and they end up utilizing deadly force to apprehend him. Ticket to court says that there's no evidence that Garner was armed, and the officer even figured that the person was unarmed. However, Garner was still shot, and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Family ends up suing, goes through the appellate courts, and the courts basically decide that Garner had assumed a risk of being shot by recklessly attempting to escape the police. The Sixth Circuit reversed it, saying that by shooting someone and attempting to apprehend them that way still constitutes a seizure, and that it needs to be reasonable for them to conduct that seizure. So it goes up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decides 6-3 that utilizing deadly force against a fleeing felon has to be justified. And the way that it can be justified is it necessary to prevent the escape? And they need probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a significant threat of violence to the officer or to the community. What does all that mean? If a suspect commits a felony and they flee from the police, is that person a threat to the community or to that officer himself? If the answer is yes, then you are able to utilize deadly force. And if the answer is no, then you cannot use deadly force to apprehend him. You got to use other means. Set up a containment, chase him, do whatever you need to apprehend him, but you can't just use deadly force to apprehend him.
Let me give you guys the challenge question for this week. So while you're on patrol, you notice a person breaking into a locked vehicle late at night using a baseball bat. Upon seeing you, the suspect immediately runs away from you in an attempt to flee. Can you use deadly force in this scenario to stop the suspect and effect an arrest? So we'll leave you guys with that one, and we'll give you the answer next week.
If you guys have any questions about any other case laws, make sure you drop them down below. And if you're curious about either Pennsylvania versus Mims or Illinois versus Wardlow, then make sure you go check out those videos. See you next week.